meeting of the Southfield Board of Education now come to order. I'd like to ask our Secretary, Mr. Mark Smith, to lead in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the March meeting of the Southfield Board of Education. My name is Gerald Buchanan and I'm the board president.
Rance Williams, vice president.
Wanda Smith, secretary.
Daniel Lewis, board trustee.
Michael Poole, trustee.
Wanda Roberts, superintendent. Debbie Trump, associate superintendent for administrative services.
David Turner, associate superintendent for human resources.
Linda Wood, associate superintendent for instruction.
And doing our video is Mr. Chuck Cassis in the back, and doing the audio for us is Mr. Ethan White, and keeping record of all of our meetings as usual, Mr. Cole Christian. We're going to get right into our meeting, and first we have our staff and student recognition. Up first we have Southfield High School's men's wrestling team. They won the Michigan High School Athletic Association Championship and the OAA League Championship, and the team was the MHSAA Regional Finalists. There were also 3 individuals on the team that were state championship finalists. Coach Vernon Burton from Southfield High is here with the details. Coach Burton.
Team season in Southfield High School history. We headed to the regional championship, one dual meet win away from going to the state finals in Battle Creek, and we had 3 individuals qualified for the individual state championship held at the Palace. 2 were seniors, 1 is a junior that will be returning, but overall we had a very successful season. First young man you see is Davion Williams. He wrestled 130 pounds for us, and the other individual, Ken Daniels, he wrestled 152 pounds for us.
What year are you guys in? What class? You're junior, and so we're losing you. We get another championship out of you next year, right? All right. Cool. Congratulations, guys. You make us proud. Did you bring anybody with you? It's always a question for the high school students. I know you all have to be proud of them as well, because that's a lot of sacrifice on everybody's behalf.
Amen.
We have one more individual.
Come on down.
Sorry about that. You're late.
And Orlando wrestled 135 for us.
In what class were you? What year?
I'm here.
Yeah, so we're losing 2 of our good wrestlers. Oh, okay.
Started in all 4 years.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
We're very proud.
Did somebody come with you, or did you bring yourself?
Oh, my mom.
Oh, Mom,
Raise your
sweet
hand,
family.
Mom. Come on, Mom.
All right. Congratulations.
Double J.
All right, thanks. Next we have Miss Kathleen Hayes Barber, Bernie K.A. Oh. Excuse me. Now we have Ms. Kathleen Hayes Harvin, the Bernie KA teachers here to share information regarding Bernie's partnership with the University of Michigan. Ms. Harvin.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm so happy and proud to be here tonight to share some good news from Bernie. And I just wanted to start out by saying a couple of thank yous. My partner, my life partner's back there. I want to thank him for keeping me grounded. He's a substitute in Southfield, so he knows how hard we work. I want to send a big thank you to Mr. Hill and Ms. Hamler. They're forming a really strong team, and Bernie's got it going on over there. So we're really happy with all the endeavors that we're embarking upon. One of the things I want to talk to you about tonight is that some of our retired Southfield Public Schools employees are real philanthropists to our classrooms, and have been very generous with donations that have helped us to take students over the last 20 years to U of M. And sixth graders, English language arts sixth graders from Bernie, for the last 20 years, have actually studied about best practices and have gone to U of M to teach a class. And they go with open hearts. They do a letter exchange first, and they talk about what they're learning and why they're learning it and how they're going about learning it to young people who are becoming teachers. And they feel that they're impacting professionals that are going to touch lives for the next 30 years, maybe even more. So Diane McFetty, a retired speech pathologist, makes her family contribute to my classroom endeavors every year at Christmas time. Ann Kochansky and Claire Krozak both very generously give to help us get the buses and to get materials for the classroom. And one of the things that has happened as an offshoot of this project is that this year, my students, through generous donations, we've been able to purchase 15 books. I want to thank Howard and other people in the district who have helped us negotiate the logistics of putting this kind of technology in the classroom. My students believe that their theory is that Nook technology might motivate them to become better readers. So as we collect data, we'll be sharing that with our U of M partners, and we'll be keeping you posted on how that's going as well. So I'm starting out small with 15 units. The people at Barnes & Noble have been fabulous. It's our mission to convince students that it is paramount for them to become wonderful readers and writers to succeed. And the kids who have gone with me over the years, I usually take between 1 and 4 sets of students, and they go to U of M, and oftentimes they'll comment, which one of these buildings is the U of M? And I'll say, all of them, you know, and we teach and learn together with the students, and then we have a fun lunch, and we take in a museum. And you are invited to come with us. Anytime you'd like to come into the classroom and see the kind of work we're doing, or go on these trips, they're just incredible. And I wanted to share the good news about how generous people have been and how excited we are about our work. And I thank you for all your support. It's a great school and a great district, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Thanks.
Thank you.
The former president of the NCTE has written about this project in this book that highlights how good practices can translate to the Common Core standards. So Bernie's been published. And thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd just like to add that I've had an opportunity to be in the part of the classroom when the University of Michigan class came down from Ann Arbor for her class. And it was phenomenal. So I just want to encourage you and keep up the good work. Thank you.
Next, the Southfield Lakeford Village Optimist Club recently honored several Southfield Public School students for their outstanding academic accomplishments. Ms. Holly Kovar, who is the president of the local Optimist Club, and Mr. George Chapp, our curriculum director, are here to share more information.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent, Cabinet, and community. On February 26th of this year, the Southfield Lakeford Optimist Club recognized and awarded 3 students for their placement in this year's essay competition. These students, 2 of which are here tonight, were selected based on the quality of their writing, adherence to various essay contest rules, which are pretty strict, grammar, spelling, word limitations, so on and so forth. But most importantly, the passion and the depth of which they tackled this year's topic, how can I help my friends realize their value, really put them over the top heads and shoulders. I can say it was my third year working with the Optimist Club for this essay competition. This is when we had the largest number of essays submitted that I can remember of. And I don't know, Ms. Colbart, if you can think of any more. Okay, so it was a pretty big group. So what you're seeing here tonight really represents the best the district has to offer in the community. So tonight, on behalf of the Southfield Lathrop Optimist Club and our essay judges, I'm pleased to announce to the board this year's essay contest awardees. Third place was Morgan Albert from Levy Middle School. Second place is Chamavi Achulo, junior at Southfield Lathrop High School. I don't see him in the room this evening, but again, we congratulate him. And our first place winner is someone that you know very well, student board member, board rep, Ashley Parker from University High School Academy.
Hi, I'm Morgan Albert, and I go to Levy Middle School. I'm in the 7th grade, and I'm in the STEM program. Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley Parker. I'm a senior at University High School Academy, and I am a board rep, a student board rep, that is. And I just want to say thank you to the Optimist Club for presenting me with the award, and also thank you to my mother and Dean Williams, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
And I just want to add on a personal note, these were fantastic essays. I can definitely say for 3 years that I've been involved in this essay competition, these were some of the closest scores that we had. And when I mean close by the point values, they were all really high. They genuinely were. So what you're really seeing here tonight with these awardees is really the best and the brightest that the district has to offer, and they're very bright indeed. So again, give them another round of applause.
Did you have anyone come with you? I'm Ashley probably drove herself, but Ms. Albert, anybody come with you?
I brought my mom and my sister. My mom's actually in the back.
Congratulations. You're going to make us proud. Come on.
Good evening to everyone. As the president of the Southfield Lathrop Optimist Club, I just wanted to invite everyone to come out and hear the Southfield students compete in the oratorical contest, which will take place on next Tuesday at the Lathrop Village City Hall at 7:30 in the morning. If you have not had an opportunity to come out and hear our students speak, please, it is such a treat to see the best of the best. And when I say that, I say it so proudly that Southfield Lathrop Optimist Club, our entry last year, won all the way to the international. So that was a student from the South. And we have had calls from all across the state wanting to compete in our competition this year. year. So we expect a huge crowd this year. They're still talking about our middle school winner who won against high school students last year. So again, I invite you out Tuesday, March 19th, this Tuesday, at Southfield, at the Lathrop Village City Hall, 7:30 a.m. Thank you again.
All right, thank you.
At this time, I'd like to recognize our board president, Gerald Buchanan. He is a 2012 graduate of the Michigan State University's Michigan Political Leadership Program. MPLP fellows are competitively selected from candidates from all professions and all corners of Michigan. The fellows attend courses at MSU's Institute for Public Policy and Social Research. The Institute administers the leadership program, which is considered one of the nation's foremost political fellowships. The MPLP program provides invaluable preparation and guidance for persons with vested interest in Michigan leadership. So we congratulate you on your graduation.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the program?
In the program, they try to make it as diverse as possible. We have 24 fellows in the program, 12 men, 12 women, 12 Republicans, 12 Democrats, and we're from all over the state. So you have people from the northern portion of the state as well as southeastern Michigan. I guess the most interesting thing about the program is that, you know, you think that with all the conflict that you have between our political parties right now, that this wouldn't be a workable situation, but it was a very workable situation in that everybody came into the program with the mindset that, you know, we want to make some changes, and we're tired of status quo and the way things are right now. So I was able to make some relationships with people from across the state and get a better understanding of, you know, other people's issues. You know, when we're here in Southeast Michigan, we think about what happens here in Southeast Michigan, but we don't think about, you know, areas of the state such as Roscommon. We went up there and visited there. Just a quick example of, you know, the differences that, you know, each community faces. Roscommon is a huge county. In this county, they have 20,000 residents in the entire county. We have 65,000 people here in the city of Southfield. So how do you provide services, educational, health, fire and emergency services to, you know, a community that's so spread out? And so just the challenges that, you know, each community faces was very interesting for us to, you know, get into and start, you know, you're in your own foxhole, you're fighting your war, so you don't really see or understand other people's battles, but this gave us a better idea of what's going on around the state, and it was a very rewarding experience and one that hopefully will bear fruit, not just for myself, but for this community as well as we move forward. So it was fun. It was fun. Now we get to the report of our student representatives, but I want to first make note of the fact that the student representative from Southfield Regional Academic Campus, Earl Vines, has successfully completed his coursework at SRAC and will no longer serve as a student board representative. He will graduate this spring with his classmates. In the meantime, he has found gainful employment and is saving for college. So let's give I don't think a lot of people understand when you talk about SRAC, it's credit recovery and credit acceleration. So Earl was a young man that took advantage of that and graduated ahead of time to give himself an opportunity to, you know, get out before his classmates and get ready for college. So that's really what that program is about. So that's to be commended. So and instead, we have Ms. Kennedy Armstrong, who will represent SRAC for the remainder of the school year. Kennedy is a 10th grader at SRAC, and she is on the track team at Southfield Lathrop. Welcome, Kennedy.
Good evening.
board members, Superintendent Dr. Cook Robinson, Central Office staff and administrators, Southfield Public School staff, parents, students, and guests. My name is Kennedy Armstrong, and I am your student board member from Southfield Regional Academic Campus. During the past few months, Southfield Regional Academic Campus has had the following activities. On January 30th, Ms. George was locked up to benefit the Muscular Dystrophy Association's annual fundraiser. To celebrate Black History Month, students researched African American scientists and writers. Students' poster board displays line our hallways. The I Have a Dream project began with students writing their dreams on 3x5 cards. The I Have a Dream project cards are on display in the main office hallway to provide inspiration and insight. On February 15th, Ms. Brown Perkins took a group of business students on a career field trip to Lawrence Tech. On March 5th through 7th, juniors came to school with the mindset to do well on the ACT and the MME. On Wednesday, March 13th, the Southfield Regional Academic Campus will host the Midwinter Options and Opportunity College Career Night from 6 to 8 p.m. We are inviting Southfield Lathrop, Southfield High School, and University High School academic students and families to attend. We are located at 21705 Evergreen Road. During the month of March, Project Womanhood began fundraising activities to support the fight against cancer. Also, Ms. McNeese is preparing for the Inside Out project, and Ms. McNeese is collaborating with Tony Holmes and students from Los Angeles to create a dual mural. Our part of the mural will be on display in our courtyard. Today, our young ladies and the Women of Tomorrow National Mentoring Program towards Schoolcraft College. The Southfield Regional Academic Campus Parent-Teacher Conferences are scheduled for Wednesday, March 20th, 2013, from 4 to 6:30 p.m. Once again, please plan to attend our Midwinter College Fair tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. Thank you.
And welcome. I mean, I can see right now why you were selected to replace Earl. You were quite well spoken, and you gave a great report. So, welcome. Next, we have Ms. Kiera Terrence from Southfield High.
Good evening. Good evening. Month in review, Southfield High. On February 14th, we had 8th grade visitation, where we had 8th graders from all over the area, from Braves, from Bernie, Thompson. We also had a charter school come, so we just had some potential class of 2017 students. The students were able to listen to presentations from the Business Academy, our student-run printing company, which is Academy Creations Management, our culinary arts program, the Engineering Academy, and they were also able to see performances from our cheerleaders and our Southfield High School drum line. On March 5th through the 7th, our juniors did take the ACT and MME testing. I hope they did well. And sophomores, freshmen, and seniors were able to stay at home those 3 days. Our varsity boys basketball team unfortunately lost on Friday, March 8th to Groves High School, ending their season. But I would say keep on the lookout for that spring signing day just to see what players will commit to colleges. Our Southfield J newspaper is finishing up their 4th issue, so be on the lookout for that. And they also have submitted all their materials to the Michigan Interscholastic Press Association, which is the organization that provides them with all of those awards they are so infamous for. And the class of 2013 is on their countdown to graduation with only 44 school days left. Grammy tryouts also finished up this week, and the Grammy night will be held on April 18th. The National Honor Society is holding a South Oakland Shelter Hygiene Kit Drive. We will be volunteering with the South Oakland Shelter on April the 27th. We are scheduled to start our drive school-wide, hopefully next week, March 20th. We're looking for items such as toothbrushes, toothpaste, brown paper bags, and any other individually packaged hygiene items. So if anyone is interested in donating, you are more than welcome to. The Southfield Student Congress will be hosting our annual spring blood drive this Friday, March 15th, from 8 to 1. So if anyone is wanting to donate blood or knows anyone who is willing to donate blood, we are accepting walk-in appointments, so just come on in. It will be held in our B-House cafeteria. Members of the Student Congress will also be attending the Michigan Association of Student Congresses and Honor Societies State Conference starting March 23rd, and they will be returning that following Monday. So just something with that.
Next up, we have Mr. Blair Moore from Southfield Latham High School.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Kicking off our March Madness, I am proud to say our Lady Chargers made it to regionals. They played a phenomenal game against Mercy High School, but unfortunately lost. March 11th, yesterday, Monday, practices kicked off for our spring sports. Today, as well as tomorrow, I invite you all to attend the choir festival, attended by our host, Mr. Martin, and that will be from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., both tomorrow and which was today. The 16th, our Interact Club will attend St. Anne's Mead, which is a retirement home where they will spark the young and our senior citizens. The 22nd, parent-teacher conferences will be held in 2 sessions, our afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. and our evening service from 6 to 7:30 p.m. On the 23rd through the 25th, our Student Congress and NHS members will attend state conferences where they will meet with other student government organizations and participate in leadership sessions. And on the 28th, Student Congress will hold their blackout dance for students. Thank you.
And now we have Ms. Ashley Parker from the University High School Academy.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Before I begin, I'd like to point out that our UHSA learning community, we are very excited about our newest addition to the U, which is our 8th grade, which will be called University Preparatory Academy. And we all think that this is a great way for our middle schoolers of Southfield Public Schools to transition into our University High School rigor for those that do attend University High School Academy. And I'd like to point out that the application window for that closes on tomorrow. And also, our 9th grade application is still available, and those can be found on the University High School website. NHS, our St. Patrick's Day bake sale is Thursday, March 14th. Our Golden Eagles, or as the other schools will call it, Grammy Night, is this Friday, March 15th. Registration for our advanced placement examinations ends March 19th. Our Random Spirit Day, or Green Day, in representation of St. Patrick's Day, is March 20th. Career Day is March 22nd. And as of this month, all the way up until May, we are beginning to raise money for the American Cancer Society and Relay for Life. Thank you.
And now we'll turn the meeting over to the superintendent for the report of the superintendent.
Thank you. I'd like to begin this evening by having everyone look at the walls around this room. The art that you see is from Vandenberg. The instructor is Ms. Julie Wolf, but she couldn't be with us this evening. Her students have created Aboriginal dot art, yarn bowls, bubble letter name designs, and underwater seascapes. Now, all of these projects were stimulated from our core curriculum. The students are studying about Australia and Aboriginal people, and this is the art of the people that are there. So you can see how art is supporting instruction in the classroom. And Principal John donated the yarn. If you know Terry, she's always knitting. So she brought in lots of yarn, and the bowls are just beautiful. So before you leave this evening, and those of you at home, come on down and check out this art. I'm going to move around my schedule just a little bit because my presenter has to teach a class tonight. We're going to talk about Revolution Read. Many of you may know that on March 6th, we had 800 kindergarten and first graders reading at the pavilion. This is part of the project that we launched last year with the support report of Mayor Lawrence, where we want to build a culture of reading in Southfield. We want every child reading on grade level by the time they leave grade 5. So we have been reading with celebrity readers. We have been doing other reading projects, and critical to Revolution Read, in which you'll see a report and some pictures in just a moment. Our parents, our SPS network, which is chaired by our own trustee, Ms. Betty Robinson, they help to provide support to parents as they work at home, helping their students to read, to keep their knowledge base strong, and to increase their skill set. This year, they went to the Michigan Reading Association Conference, and we have 2 representatives from the parent network who will give us an update on that conference.
Good evening, board. Good evening, administration, attendees. My name is Dr. Vivian Greenway, and along with my steering committee colleague, Elizabeth Williams-Pittman, we're going to share with you an exciting time that we have this weekend at the Michigan Reading Association Conference. It was held on March 8th through the 10th in Grand Rapids. So we wanted just to provide an overview for you. This year's theme was Enlightening the Way for Literacy, and the theme encompasses that each one of us, through instruction, are considered to be lighthouses, being a beacon of light to guide our students. The conference at a glance provided our Southfield parents that attended the general sessions with featured speakers, and we also shared within workshops, which provided a stimulating look at intergenerational literacy and interaction with top scholars. Now, with myself as well as Elizabeth in attendance, we also were in attendance with our superintendent, Dr. Wanda Robinson, our board member, Betty Robinson, also steering committee members, Talisha Rice and Nicole Christian, as well as Kelly Marshall. So at this time, I'm going to have Elizabeth just to share a little bit of what we experienced at the conference.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As you can see, I have a bag of tricks with me today, right here. I received this at the conference. If you can't tell, it is quite heavy, because I gathered a lot of things, both for our parents and our teachers, as well as students. We were able to visit a lot of sessions, and to be quite honest, I would have you guys here for the next week if I tried to go over everything that we learned. Some of the special things that we got to do, we had an author signing, where we got to receive books from the authors that wrote them, and they signed the inside for us. Also, we had an exhibit hall that we got to go to where we could get different informational things to help our children get motivated to read and to stay motivated. As Ms. H.P. said earlier, she has nooks in our classroom. We actually learned about that in one of our sessions. They were telling us how technology can help our students stay motivated, because a lot of them look to the nooks and the iPads to gain books and then reading. One of the things that hit me hard in one of our sessions, we had Ms. Miller, who was, she's a teacher, and she was able to get all of her students to read a minimum of 40 books in 1 year. She was, I believe, she teaches grade K through 5, but that was very powerful. You had one student that was able to read 40 books. That's powerful, so we were able to retain knowledge from her, so we can pass it on not only to our parents, but our teachers and our students as well. Another good session that we went to was Doug Fisher, and he gave the example, Beowulf. How many people know about Beowulf here? The story. Now, when you learned it in school, were you taught it, or was it assigned to you? That is the question that he asked. Teaching something to a student ensures that they actually understand it. Whereas if you assign it to your student, you're just giving it to them, okay, I need you to figure this out and answer this question. and then pick the study. Now that could go for teachers or parents, because my mother would give me books all the time. She didn't just hand them to me and say, figure this out. She actually read with me. So now I actually had a very good understanding. So that's something that he was talking about, and I thought this resonated good. So we can pass that on to our parents, letting them know that it's not just the teachers, you also need to, as a parent, help out your students. And as I said before, we have the exhibit hall. I have a ton of these. I can pass them around to my different parents at the PTA meetings, even at board meetings. If anyone needs to look at something, we can easily be able to give knowledge to our parents. And I think I'm going to stop there because I have to get this for next week if I continue.
In addition to the sessions that we attended individually, there were also sessions that were of general nature, and some of those included Dr. Alfred Tatum. He's an award-winning teaching instructor that encompasses teaching reading to Black adolescent males. So with his sessions, we were also able to attend his luncheon session and a general session with him. We also went to Donna Lynn Miller, and she is the book whisperer, and she encouraged in terms of learning from lifelong readers, and she also talked about building in the community, building with readers and involving the community to engage in terms of our readers so that they can strive to improve on their reading skills. And in addition to that, there was Taylor Joseph honoring and recognizing writing skills of young and inspiring authors. Now, one of the highlighted events was that we were able to attend a breakfast with some of Michigan's high book-selling and acclaimed authors and illustrators, and there were approximately 30 of them in attendance. So there were several of them at the event, and they had around 8 attendees at each of their tables, and they were able to give highlights of their books and allowed us to engage with them. And also, in addition, we were able to receive a signed copy from the author or illustrator of those books. So that was a really exciting piece. Now, one of the things that I just wanted to emphasize, that in conclusion, our objective was to obtain the information and tools to assist the parent network in facilitating growth within our young students and assist in improving their reading skills at level or above level. We want to exceed, so we want to empower ourselves as a parent network, and so that we can engage with the community as well as the instructors and provide the resources that are necessary to empower the students. We want them to improve with these tools and become beacons of light themselves, guiding their way to improve literacy. And we thank you for letting us present today. Thank you.
Trustee Rogers, anything you want to add?
No, I think we all had a great learning experience, and we enjoyed our classes that we attended, and it was wonderful for all of us there who attended. And thank you for your report.
And a lot of books we learned.
Yes.
Tons of books. I'm going to ask Ms. Jackie Robinson to go to the podium. She's going to share some of the highlights from Revolution Read. And this was a very, very successful Revolution Read this year. We actually had more celebrity readers than we had children. So thank you to the community for stepping up and volunteering. I also want to thank Jackie Robinson, Nicole Christian, and Joyce Balagi. They're the team, and Ms. Paulette Anderson, they're the team that made this happen. And you just can't believe, I wish I had it on video, 850 kids, and they came in, they sat down, they heard their stories, they played with Clifford a little bit, songs, and then left. It was just fantastic. In the afternoon, in grades 2 through 5, we sent celebrity readers out to the building. So we had a reading in the afternoon from 1:15 to 2 o'clock. I also want to thank special guests, Police Chief Eric Hawkins, Fire Chief Keith Riley, Mayor Lawrence, Channel 7 News anchor Lauren Sanders, and the City Light, Channel 4 News anchor Lauren Sanders, and our City Librarian Dave Hewitt for participating.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The superintendent set the stage quite well. I'm going to give just a brief media report on two of the things that are going on as far as the media that the district has been receiving. One is the Revolution Read, and the other is our media campaign that is going on right now. So I'm going to start with that. 2 weeks ago, we launched a media campaign with a twofold purpose. It had two purposes. One was to let everyone know about Kindergarten Roundup, because that's where we get our influx of new students, so that's very important. The other purpose was to let people know about all the great things that Southfield Public Schools offers that no other district offers. So if you look in your chair, you have a postcard, and this went out, I don't know, maybe 10 days ago to every household in the district in Southfield and Lakewood Village that had students or children from 4 to 16. And so this advertised not just the Kindergarten Roundup, but on the other side you'll see it talked about all the wonderful things that are happening in our district. So we did that. Some of you may have seen an ad in Southfield Sun that had the same message. And then we did a little radio spot on 92.3 and 102.7. And from my initial surveys, the saturation and the reach has been very good. In English, people heard it. So Paulette, if you could please.
Mom, time for lunch.
They go so fast.
They sure do.
Hey, did you decide where you're sending him for kindergarten?
Yeah, Southfield Public Schools. I found out students that start their academic careers early at Southfield do better on achievement tests than those who don't. Last year, the district celebrated its third Gates Millennium Scholar. That's a full ride through their doctorate program.
I see you're thinking ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure am. They also offer international baccalaureate programs from kindergarten through 12th grade, advanced placement programs, and dual college enrollment.
Wow. Where can I find out about all these wonderful programs? I want to enroll Brianna.
Now you're thinking ahead.
Southfield Public Schools is hosting Kindergarten Roundup March 11th through the 15th. Southfield and Lathrop Village residents only. Call 248-746-7601. That's 248-746-7601. Or visit southfield.k12.mi.us.
So that is running in on two different stations, two different versions. And as a sidebar, I got a text from my former intern who said, Mrs. Robinson, I heard you and Nicole on the radio. I said, no, that wasn't me. But one of the things we're doing with our campaign right now is we're looking at some very hard facts about who we are and what we do. And one of the things is that students who start their academic careers at Southfield Public Schools early perform better on academic achievement tests than those who don't. Now, these are hard facts from our statistician, Earl Dixon, and so you'll see in all our materials we're pushing this message. We want to plant a message. Even in the radio spot, if you notice, it'll say, you're thinking ahead. So we're not just talking about Kindergarten Roundup. We're saying, look at the whole picture of where your child will go and who they will become. And I'm really looking at them right now in the front row. You are Southfield's finest, and we are very, very proud of you. So now I just want to go through some of the media that we received for Revolution Read. Dr. Cook Robinson, as I said, set the stage well. March 6th, we had 2,700 students involved in the read-in. That was a full day of reading across the district, 850 in the morning, almost 2,000 in the afternoon. We engaged more than 100 celebrity readers from every walk of life, retired judges, politicians, moms, dads, grandparents, you name it. Everyone came out to support it, and I thank you for your efforts. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. So some of the coverage we received, Detroit News printed an article on March 7th. This is the print copy. So you have online, you have print. So we had hard copy print, Detroit News, March 7th, the Oakland Press, March 11th, Observer Eccentric, March 10th, the Southfield Sun could come on March 14th. In regards to television, we had Channel 20 that came out, and Southfield Cable Television, TV 15. Online, we had the Detroit News, We had WSB Radio, which is a news talk station. We had Rail, which is out of North Carolina. We had the San Antonio Express and the Republic. The reason we had this national coverage is because the Associated Press picked up the story, so it kind of fanned out and spread nationally. And so that was our coverage of San Antonio Express. And then a few pictures. You'll see Dr. Wanda Cook Robinson and Clifford. And one of the highlights of the event was when Dr. Wanda Cook Robinson and Clifford led the wiggle wave, and all the kids stood up. And it was so cute. There were 800 kids standing up, turning and dancing and shaking. And I looked at one teacher, and her face was, she was thinking, I'm never going to get these kids back in line. But they settled down. We had to let them wiggle and shake maybe 3 or 4 times, but they settled down. And there's more pictures just to give you an idea of the size. I think I see Board President Buchanan up there, maybe someone from Southfield Sun, Jessica Strachan is there, and a few others. So it was a great event, and we want to thank you for your support. The revolution continues on March 18th with a book drive. So there are book receptacles in all of our elementary and K-8 schools. You'll see an ad in this week's Southfield Sun. Information on the website about all our great events, and we just invite you to follow us on Twitter, follow us on the web, and soon follow us on Facebook. Thank you.
And I just want to add some additional thank yous to Chartwell. They provided over 3,000 students with snacks. We'd like to thank Durham Transportation, who donated the transportation for all of our students to and from the pavilion. To Jeff Smith and Malibi Jazz Band. They were just awesome. And to Mayor Lawrence and Jonathan Lynn at Parks and Rec for hosting the event at the pavilion. And also the Zonta Club of Southfield that sent us a financial donation to support the event. So thank you to all. At this time, I'd just like to take a few minutes to honor our board. And they don't know this is coming, but we need to honor them. I received a letter this week, and in that letter, it told me some fascinating things about this Board of Education. The Southfield Board of Education is an honor board, and they have received the Standard of Excellence Award. Now, they are one of about 5 school districts in the state that have achieved this level. That means that every one of the board members that you see sitting here this evening has received their level 1 certification. That means that they have spent hours and hours in classes, online, and at their retreats. They bring MASB in to do a course for them. Now, the Southfield Public School Board, they do not receive payment. They give that money back to the district, so they serve gratis. They do get a chicken dinner, though, when they come to second service. But that's about it. I throw a few vegetables in, too, and a cupcake. But they do not get paid. And I just want to make that point. They reserve every Tuesday of every month to be here. And then if we don't need them, if we don't have hearings or a study session, then we cancel. But I would say that is rare. And they serve almost every single Tuesday. The Honor Board is an award that's given to boards when all members have achieved certification status, as they have. They also are receiving the Standard of Excellence Award. And MASB offers the Standard of Excellence Award to boards when all board members have received the Award of Merit. They have received that as well. In addition, there are 7 levels of certification and awards that this board can receive. All of them are at level 1, and in addition to receiving the level 1, we have board members that have received even more awards. Our board president, Gerald Buchanan, has received the Master Platinum Award. That is a lot of claps. That means that he has completed levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and a total of 19 advanced courses, and a minimum of 813 educational credits. In addition to our board president, board trustee Fern Katz has received the Master Diamond Award. Master Diamond Award indicates that she has completed levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, a total of 14 advanced courses, and 528 educational credits. Well done. And board trustee Michael Poole is receiving the Award of Distinction, and this indicates that he has completed levels 1 and 2, a total of 4 advanced courses, and 208 educational credits. And I'm very proud. I'm not bragging right now. And I just want to say to my bosses, to the Board of Education, I am so proud of all of you. I'd also like to share with the board this evening that on February 25th, I had an opportunity to go to the University of Michigan and meet with Vice Provost, Dr. John Matlock, who is the Associate Vice Provost, I get it right, at the University of Michigan, and also Mr. Lester Mott, who is the Vice President of Academic Affairs and the Executive Assistant to the President. With them were 16 former Southfield Public School students, and you can see them listed on the screen. We met with them over lunch, and we had a discussion about their time here at Southfield Public Schools. They shared with me what went well when they first hit the doors of U of M. What did they feel they were ready to do? And what did they wish we had done more of? They were very, very candid. And in talking with them, they gave us a lot of insight about what we need to do to maybe tweak the program or add a little more. And some things they said, just right, don't change that. Interestingly enough, the majority of these young people now have leadership positions in organizations all over the campus. And they said that was very, very strong here in Southfield Public Schools. Business Professionals for America, DECA, our National Honor Society, and our other clubs prepared them to walk in as freshmen and to assume those responsibilities. As a result of our meeting, the alumni have agreed to come and to work with the students that are still in school. They're going to come down and do a panel for our high school and middle school students that are here in the district to help them prepare for college. We are also looking at software that will help us to better track our students. And I'll be bringing a proposal to the board before the end of the year to purchase software that will help us better capture that data after our students have left. But I was very pleased and very proud of all of them. They are doing extremely well. And one of the things that they shared with me is that they felt that Southfield Public Schools really prepared them for what they had to face when they got there. So it was a very, very good experience. This morning I had the opportunity to go to Southfield Lathrop High School for the grand opening, and I think board members, you all have a flyer there, of the Charger Laundry Depot. Our ASD students, our students with autism spectrum disorder, have opened a laundry. They have 3 contracts currently. They're making money over there. And today was their grand opening, and I had an opportunity to attend that, and I've invited them to come to the board meeting in April with the students and to share with you their new enterprise. They are not only learning a skill that will help them to get employed, they're learning other employability skills as well as using what they learned in school in application in the real world. So very, very exciting. And the last thing that I'd like to share with the board this evening, I've been contacted by NBC New York in New York, and they would like to come to this area and provide an education summit. If you'll remember last year, the education summit that was very well televised on NBC was in New York. This year, they're going to do it in 4 different parts of the country. and the Detroit metro area is going to be one of those areas. So they contacted me and asked if we would participate, and I said absolutely. So on March 20th and 22nd, teachers, I will invite board members as well to come and participate with us. Teachers, students, staff, and parents, we will be participating in the nationwide education summit, and our district will be highlighted. So I'm very, very proud to share that with you this evening. And now I'll turn it over to my staff for reports.
Good evening. My report tonight is contained in the consent agenda.
Good evening. As well as mine, there was one thing in the personnel report I wanted to point out. If you would direct your attention to numbers 1 and number 3, and we were preparing the document, we shrunk them a little too small, and they left off some of the schools. Thank you, Trustee Smith, for noting that. Number 1 should be teacher at Stevenson. It may be there on some of you all who's not. Please add in Stevenson. And then number 3, social worker through specialized student services, but also have some assignments through bracelet for those in the positions. Thank you.
Good evening, board, and good evening, community. This evening, under my report, I wanted to provide an update for you on the work that we've been doing with our high school principals as we've looked at some of the concerns that we have and some of the ideas that we would like to share with you for enhancing our high schools. So, specifically, our ninth graders and our eighth graders as we make transition and as we start to look at how we can enhance the rigor as well as the nurturing that is needed for these transitional years. And so I'm going to invite each of our high school principals to the podium, and they will share, and they only have 4 minutes each for a total of 16 minutes to share with you the plans that they have collaboratively discussed, finalized, and would like to move forward with for the 2013-14 school year. And you know, I'm very excited about what we have planned, what we discussed. I also know there's still a lot of work ahead. We have a lot of conversations to have with our parents as well as with our staff, but we're moving forward, and we're going to start with Southfield Lathrop. Then we will move to Southfield High, University High, and Essex. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wood. I'm Joseph Sprizak, principal of Southfield Lathrop High School. Thank you, Dr. Cook Robinson, esteemed board, parents of the community. Southfield Lathrop High School started with the end in mind by taking a look at the map data that the district has compiled over the past year. And we're going to use that map data because we realize that our reading, our language arts, and our mathematics scores are below the norm. We're going to use that to help with the scheduling of the students coming in the fall. We're going to place an emphasis on the Read 180 program and the Algebra Lab. Read 180 is a district-approved prescribed reading program which will help us raise the reading levels of the students. And the Algebra Lab will help us to give the students some additional reading help, additional algebra help, because we know that's an area where we're really lacking. Of course, the top priority is going to be the Read 180 because we know if the students' reading levels are lower, it's going to impact them in all of their subject areas, everywhere from science, social studies, to everything that they have on their high school agenda. The biggest change we're going to have is we're proposing to have a ninth grade counselor. And that ninth grade counselor will be in one wing of the building, and that's going to be the wing where we're going to have all of our core classes offered to our ninth graders, so that the counselor will be immediately in that area. This will enable them to do group sessions that can be taken place regularly with the following topics of college readiness skills, reviewing of high school transcripts, appropriate behavior, study skills, and participation in extracurricular activities. These are areas that we know our students really don't do well in as ninth graders, and we're also going to be open to the Eastern Michigan review that's coming up with our counselors to see if there's any other suggestions that they have. And then we just also want to remind all of our students in our community that we have 3 academies. We have the Medical and Natural Sciences Academy, the Arts and Communication Academy, and then our much more rigorous academy of the International Baccalaureate Program. And these are the areas that we're going to push our students in as they enter their ninth grade year. I'm going to have my colleague, Mr. Horn, now step up and talk about Southfield High School.
Thank you, Mr. Spryzak. Good evening, distinguished board members, illustrious superintendent, and I'd like to thank you, Dr. Wood, for giving me 40 minutes to talk about the ninth grade at South. I have a hearing impediment, so I appreciate it. I want to talk to you about the ninth grade this evening. Ninth grade is a challenge. I want to talk about is really 6 tenets of why we really want to focus on the ninth grade. There are essential components in the ninth grade. Ninth grade makes the high school, we need to make our high school a more nurturing environment where it is difficult for students to slip through the cracks. Standardized expectations so that students know what they should do and teachers know what they should look for so that expectations can improve. We need to equip students with a belief system they need to learn and be successful. More importantly, we need to create classroom cultures where excellence occurs. We need to teach students organizational and time management skills. And most important, we need to foster effective parent-teacher contact. At Southfield High School, it's exactly what we intend to do next year. Southfield High School has 5 academies. We have the Advanced Studies Academy, the Engineering Academy, the Global Studies Academy, and the Business Academy. As you can see, if you have some good seats, in the back you might not be able to see. It's a lot of empty seats up here. It gives you a particular curriculum. Every ninth grader that comes to Southfield High School next year must sign up for an academy. So every student is going to be signing up for academy. To foster this, tomorrow myself and my department chair counselor will be visiting the feeder schools. Tomorrow morning will be at MacArthur at 9, and 1:30 will be at Brace Learning K-8, and at 2 p.m. will be at Levy, talking just about these particular things. If we can go to the next slide, please. We would like, because we know that the ninth graders, if we set the right tone, study habits, good grades, because the fact of the matter is, most of our discipline problems come from the ninth grade. Our lowest achieving students are in the ninth grade. So next year, all of our ninth graders will be assigned to a house. They will be assigned to one house. All of their core curriculum classes will be in a house. With the exception of going out of a house for lunch, or with the exception of going for non-academic core classes, all of their classes will be in a house. Our biggest asset, we think, next year, and research will support this, that next year we're going to have single gender classes. We're going to have all young men in one class and all young women. That way the focus is on education, and we are really excited about that. We're going to take our present teachers, the way we assign teachers, and we're going to kind of implode that situation. We're going to take teachers that have in the past been teaching AP classes, teachers that have been teaching at the end rather than the beginning, and we're going to move those teachers down to teach the ninth graders. We have to make a solid foundation for the ninth graders. I'd already mentioned that we're going to have to choose 5 academies. We'll start that conversation with our 8th graders tomorrow, and just as our student rep mentioned earlier, we have already had all of the incoming 8th graders come over to our school and visit. We met with parents that evening. The next one, and we're probably more excited about this than anything else, is next year we will build mentoring time for 9th graders. but it's just not ninth graders. We have pilfered some time out of other classrooms, and we're going to reinstitute the Blue Jay seminar. So every day for 25 minutes, ninth graders in particular, but our entire school in its totality, will go to other classrooms and we'll talk about mentoring, decision-making, ideals, and issues. So our entire school, from 125 to 150 every day, will go to the Blue Jay seminars in different classrooms. That's going to elicit some form of training. We're going to need to train some teachers. So we'll be coming back to this organization for said dollars. But it's going to be important. And thank you, Dr. Wood. I saw you nod your head. Nobody can see you. You're off camera. We initially talked about ACC classes in the 9th grade. Was that my time? Probably. Mr. Turner. Oh, speed it up? Okay, all right. That means I'm going to take my time. The last thing, and really Mr. Spryzak already talked about it, was the designated counselor in the group of 9th graders. That's going to be, we think, very beneficial as students matriculate from the 8th grade to the high school. So at this time, I'd like to, since they say my time is up, I have about 6, maybe 7 more things, but at this time I'd like to introduce my magnanimous, most esteemed, illustrious principal at University High School Academy, Miss Marcia Williams.
He used every big word he knows. And we have 4 minutes each, so I donate 2 of my minutes to Mr. Horn. That's been my contribution. But I'm here this evening, good evening everyone, first of all, but I'm here this evening to speak with you about the expansion of programming at University High School Academy for the fall of 2013. So we're excited to introduce 2 programs that will be put in place this fall. We can move forward. First is the expansion of our STEM program. Currently, all of our students prior to graduation must enroll in at a minimum of 1 integrated STEM course, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. We're expanding that based on student feedback to include, for the A, arts. We implemented a visual arts program last school year. However, it's expanding to include advanced placement studio art in the fall. In addition to that, you'll notice that the M is squared. And so in addition to the mathematics portion, we're offering 2 additional courses in the area of medicine for our students who want to pursue medical school once they leave us. In addition, we are happy to introduce our 8th grade program, University High School Preparatory Academy. And those students who are entering 8th grade in the fall of 2013 will have an opportunity to join the, or call it the umbrella, the University High School umbrella. So those students who really feel that they already know, I want to go to the U, this will be a great opportunity for them to transition, to be exposed to the rigor of the high school environment, as well as have an opportunity to have teachers who are currently teaching advanced placement courses, teach them in the 8th grade, beginning with the end in mind so that we can prepare them for those college-level courses. And they'll also participate in interdisciplinary curriculum. So we've already begun the plans, and we're excited for the 8th graders to join us. And as our enrollment has to remain at a certain level because we're going to remain a small school, those students who are performing at a satisfactory level will automatically have a seat in the high school. They will not need to reapply, nor will they need to test. So the 8th graders, in addition to the curriculum, will also have opportunities for extracurricular activities. We've already sought out staff who will sponsor organizations for them, as well as they will have the opportunity to participate in our middle school athletic program. So we're really excited about the opportunities that our school district is offering to our students in the 9th grade as well as in the 8th grade. So at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Marty Bulger, the oh-so-enthusiastic principal at Southfield Regional Academic Campus.
I gave Mr. Horn 3 minutes, which means I have 1. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to speak about the Southfield Regional Academic Campus and the changes that we have coming there. To move quickly through, of course, our school is built around those tenets that are on the screen: credit recovery, block scheduling, double blocking all core courses, mentoring. We have Project Manhood, Project Womanhood, and we have a National Mentoring Program, Women of Tomorrow. Extended learning opportunities. Of course, we have students who come to us from various districts who need a multitude of courses, makeup courses. Some have had situations where they've missed up to 2 years of coursework. And so we have to figure out how to get the job done, and that we do. So we do that also through a 5-by-5 block, which means that our students attend 5 classes on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday schedule. Then they attend 5 classes, 4 of which are support classes, on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we repeat the process. Technology in the classroom, award-winning art program, as well as different clubs and organizations that we have. Our students also participate in the athletic programs at both Southfield High School or Southfield Lakeville. So they get the opportunity to be a part of the successful athletic program and extracurricular activities that are offered. You also see in the picture there STEAM. We sort of jumped rather quickly to STEAM in that we had STEM as a goal for this year. But we're already looking at including the arts because our students do so well in the arts program. To the next slide, we have for this upcoming school year resolved that we're going to do something to help our transitioning 7th grade students who are struggling, who are severely at a point where their reading levels are significantly lower than what they should be in order for them to matriculate to the comprehensive high school, and their math scores are the same. So next year for 13-14, we'll be adding 8th grade course offerings for students who need a smaller environment and the nurturing and the support. Those courses will include algebra and algebra support, language arts, and on down. As you look to the 5th courses, at the bottom, technology and STEAM, our students are very well versed in using technology. The expansion of that into using it properly and appropriately for learning is going to be what we try to design that course around. They need to know how to use it and use it in order to expand their learning. So that's for the 8th grade, and then for the 9th grade, something similar. There's only one thing I want to highlight under the 9th grade courses where you see freshman comp and lit, you see ACT freshman comp and lit year long. We also have already started using Read 180, and we see significant growth there. So Read 180, if we use Study Island in the 8th grade as a support course, then we use Read 180 for our 9th graders, because we know that reading is extremely important. And then, of course, the Plato elective courses, they allow us to be able to service more students while using a lot of different staff members. We're able to get it done with students taking a variety of courses in a Plato course versus them having a number of different teachers. I think my time is up. Thank you.
I'd like to thank them also. Thank you, Mr. Bulger. So I just want to finally add that I'm very pleased and proud because as instructional leaders, one of the things that we have to continually do is to enhance and make changes so that we can better meet the needs of all of our children. And consistently, they are working and they're not afraid to make that effort to move forward. To enhance this change and to support the needs of our parents and our students and our board, we are planning to have 2 conversations with parents in the community about the changes that will be taking place at our high school. And we have quite a few things going on in the next couple of weeks, so we will be having the first to occur tentatively right now, April 10th. And we will be announcing that, and we'll be providing that information to all of our parents and students and informing them of specifically the location and the exact time. But I wanted to at least make sure that everyone knew that we will be having additional conversation and support for understanding of these wonderful changes that are forthcoming. And that is...
Dr. Wood, if I could just add, I just want to compliment all 4 of the high school principals. They have been working on this since August, long afternoon, started out with no agreement in the room. And from there, they just brought it together. So I'm very, very pleased at the leadership that I see at the secondary level, and I just want all 4 of you to know I was very proud this evening to see where we ended up, since I know where we began. Also, Dr. Wood, can you speak to the town hall meetings on me?
Absolutely.
On March 25th and also March 27th, here in the boardroom at JWE, we will be hosting 2 town hall meetings, one on March 25th and one on March 27th. They will begin at 7 o'clock, and we're going to provide for all of our parents and the community an update on our MEEP scores and an understanding about what those scores mean and what our children are learning and the standards and the expectations from the state. We will also provide insight for parents at that particular event on how they can better understand, and we'll have a pamphlet for each of our grade levels regarding the MEEP test and the assessment. That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right. And next we have a report from Trustee Smith on the Head Start update.
Thank you. So this is the March report for Bussey Center for Early Childhood Education, Janice Hill, Director. And I'd just like to thank Paulette for always being my right hand with these PowerPoints. So the Head Start Policy Council met on Monday, March 12th at 9 a.m. Bussey is fully enrolled at 190 students. There are 148 students on the waiting list, 29 drops. Our CACFP meals served 701 breakfasts, 859 lunches, 652 snacks. The review team visited on February 26th and 27th. They reviewed the quality improvement plan and the compliance action plan. Trustee Smith, Dr. Cook Robinson, and the administrative team met for the opening meeting, and Ms. Hill has debriefed and forwarded additional information needed to address the deficiencies and noncompliances. The self-assessment and the community needs assessment are ready to submit to the Southfield Public Schools Governing Board and Policy Council for approval. I neglected to mention that the pictures included in this month's report are from the Black History program that happened on February 28th. The average daily attendance, as we all know, should be approximately about 85%. I listed December, January, and then February we had a 75% ADA. I never thought I'd get to face sequestration in public, but here I am, and it's important to note that March 1st, 2013 is when President Obama forced by rules in accordance with the Budget Control Act of 2011, instituted a series of spending cuts up to the tune of about $85 billion in resource cuts across the federal government. And as you all know, Head Start is a federal grant program, and across Head Start, it'll be reduced by 5%. Proportional reductions across these activities are required by Section 640 of the Head Start Act. It's important to note that the Head Start federal department advised all grantees to begin planning on how they will alter their programs to operate at these reduced levels. And I thought it was important to mention to the community, and in particularly the board, that within all of that 5% cut, they still think that the first priority for all programs is to maintain a high quality of service provided to children and families to ensure their health and safety, that it is still critical to minimize disruptions to currently enrolled children for the program year, and that they also expect enrollment reductions, workforce reductions, particularly in the upcoming program year. So, it's even more impressive what Bussey does with the dollars that Bussey has available to them, but they're still doing their job in terms of community and family engagement. So on March 12th, you see there's an empowerment, education, and employment workshop that happened earlier today. March 13th, the entrepreneurship for fathers. You'll see a theme where Bussey's really trying to encourage fathers to participate in their child's education and set a good foundation for their child's K-12 education. You can read some of the dates there. March 20th, Family Engagement Workshop. March 25th, the Policy Council Executive Session. The kindergarten call was already mentioned. Parent meeting and family relationships for father. And then very important, March 28th, for funding packages due to our region. The very colorful image you see there, don't try to read it. I tried to enlarge it as much as possible. It wasn't happening. But it is available online. The Head Start Child Development and Early Learning Framework is what that picture shows, and it's promoting positive outcomes in early childhood programs serving children 3 to 5 years old. Mrs. Dwyer and the fantastic staff at Bussey, this is what they provided. I just took a complete snapshot, and I think it's important to mention that the first bars that you see on the graph for all of those different little points of interest are what was taken and came about in October of last year. Physical development and health, social-emotional development, et cetera, et cetera. And then time 2, which would be the taller bars to the right, indicates what the children tested at or were observed at in February of 2013. And it's very important to note that based on the data compiled, the Bussey children showed a significant growth in each early learning framework from time 1 to time 2. Finally, the budget report. Our grant remains the same. Expenditures to date equals 46.3% of the budget. Balance remaining of $700,084. The budget amendment is prepared and will go before the school board. And all retirement rates for staff, based on their choice of coverage and or investment, have been updated. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Excellent job. Okay. I think we can get through this pretty quick. All right. I'll take a motion to open and approve the consent agenda. Okay. Are there any questions in regard to the items included in the consent agenda? Hearing none, the Secretary, would you please call for the vote?
Yes. Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Robinson?
Yes.
Trustee Poole?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Katz?
Yes.
President Buchanan?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay. And just like that, we just paid our bills to the tune of about $6.8 million. Okay. It's time to take a motion to open and approve Report 5146, the Kennedy lease extension. Okay, it's been moved and supported. Can we get some background, please?
We've been leasing partial space at Kennedy School since 2007 to the Berkeley Tri-County Center, and it's grown to, over the years, we've had 3 or 4 amendments, so now they're renting over 20,000 square feet of space, plus the adjoining hallways spaces, and they also pay utilities to go along with that. So it's been a pretty good revenue source for us, and they've been good partners. So at this time, we're recommending that we extend it up through June of 2014.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, the Secretary, would you please call for the vote?
Trustee Robinson? Yes. Myself? No. Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Poole?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Katz?
Yes.
President Buchanan?
Yes.
1.
Okay. Would you like to advise the community as to why you voted no? Typically, when you vote no, you have to.
As many of you know, I reside in the North Land Gardens area of Southfield, Michigan. I went to Kennedy Elementary School, and after much thought and supplication, I felt to support the community in which Kennedy particularly sits in, that I was going to cast a no. That you were the one who wanted to cast a no.
Okay. Thank you. All right, this time we'll take a motion to open and approve Report 5147, Extension of Contracted Services.
So moved.
Okay.
Yes, Board, I'm seeking approval from the board this evening to extend the consulting contract of Dr. Yvonne Calloway, who's a professor at Eastern Michigan University. She is completing the audit of the entire counseling program in the district. Last Friday, I had a preliminary look at that report. I think it's going to give us some good information. The final report will be ready for the counselors. We're going to report back to them and the board and the principals on Monday. From that, there are a number of recommendations that we need to put in place. As you heard this evening, we're going to be putting counselors at all our ninth grade academies. We need to redesign our counseling program in this district. And she has a PhD in counseling and leadership. And what we want to do to June is to simply, first of all, we've got to report back what I promised the counselors I would bring back to them. Then I want to bring them together to work with us to look at the Michigan counseling model and to help us design how we move forward. Hopefully we will have something in place. I will probably be coming back to you in June, looking at some other consulting dollars to do training for counseling. And this is something that is very needed in our district.
Any questions?
So, although it's below the threshold, we still act on it.
Well, no. Actually, Dr. Calloway, if you remember, has done team building for Bussy and some other things. Even though the threshold is at 22, all consulting contracts are, I just bring to the board so that you're on board with what we're doing and how we're using those dollars. So her contract will end up being around $14,500, which is still a very good bargain for what we've done. So that's why I brought it back to the board this evening to let you know what I want to do.
Okay. Any further questions? Hearing none, Ms. Secretary, please call the vote.
Trustee Poole?
Yes.
Trustee Katz?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Vice President Williams?
Yes.
Treasurer Robinson?
Yes.
President Kenneth?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you. It's time to take a motion to open and approve Report 5148, the Head Start Budgeting Amendment referred to in Trustee the Secretary Smith's earlier report.
So moved.
Okay.
For additional information, I'm going to have Ms. Hill come to the podium if you have additional questions. But basically, this is something that we have discussed. I know they're discussing in the Policy Council. And what we're trying to do here is realign dollars. Anytime there is money in the federal budget for Head Start, that we want to change how we initially put in our documents, how we're going to use it, we have to do an amendment, we have to bring it to the Policy Council, we have to bring it to this council. And as you can see, we would like to take the line savings and use them in the following manner. We're going to train staff. We're going to train staff in Perkins High School. We're going to do upgrades to the playground and the tiles and so on. And all of these things we have shared with the board previously. And before we can send this amendment into Chicago, we need formal board approval and formal policy council.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Brooke Robinson, and our guests. Yes, I would, as the director of the Head Start program at Bussy, I would appreciate it if you guys would approve the amendment, because with Head Start, if you don't spend the money, you have to send it back and you never get it back again. And so we want to replace some of the carpet, we want to put some tile down, and we want to update our playground, provide training for our staff so that they can receive additional training in ERCIA, which is our enrollment, recruitment, selection, and enrollment and attendance criteria. And we also want staff to receive additional training in high school. It is our goal to be a high school certified center at Bussy. So
we appreciate if you all would amend the budget.
I did have one question on the playground. There were some items, houses. Are those houses going to be like movable, where you put them away, or?
They'll be permanent houses. You know, the big, like the little plastic houses that the children can go in and they can build have a garden outside and they can sit in, and there'll be big playhouses.
Okay.
That will be permanent.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Secretary, would you please call for the vote?
Trustee Lewis.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Trustee Katz.
Yes.
Vice President Williams.
Yes.
Treasurer Robinson.
Yes.
Trustee Poole.
Yes.
President Buchanan.
Yes.
Unanimous.
All right, thank you. Next, we have information items that don't require any action from the board. We have a purchasing report that has several items on there, but if you just need to read it and look at the fact that we bought some de-icer and stuff like that, that's what's in there. We also, report 5150, where we're looking to expand our wireless network. We have been making several advancements to our overall network, starting with us going with a fiber optic network several years ago, changing over to voice over IP. Although it seems like these are huge expenditures, over time, these expenditures actually save us money, in that we're able to, with the voice over IP, we actually became our own telephone company. So it reduced a lot of our overall costs and better efficiency of throughput. But there is a plan to expand the wireless network, which means that we're putting more access points throughout the district, in the buildings, and along with that goes the wiring and all the stuff that goes along with that. So it's included in the report if you really need to see that, but that's basically what it is. And there's also some gifts to the district. And I'm going to read this. Mr. Donald Jones, the former Southfield High School principal, donated a used violin to the district. The violin is to be gifted to a student who is interested in participating in the district's music program and is in need of an instrument. So for that, Mr. Jones, we thank you very much. We now come to the public participation portion of the meeting, and nobody submitted any cards. That's a beautiful thing. So we don't need to get the So now we come to board matters, where board members have the opportunity to discuss items that are of interest to them. You, Trustee Poole.
Yeah, I'd like to make just a few comments, because next time we had our board meeting, President was speaking, and I didn't want to have any comments because I felt long-winded, especially that particular night with it being Black History Month. So I'm going to make those comments at this meeting. First of all, congratulations to President Buchanan for completing the MSU Michigan Political Leadership Program. Another fine example of your traditional achievement perspective. So thank you very much. Also, I'd like to recognize Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson on being recognized by her peers as being one of the most outstanding superintendents in this country. So, to those that acquire a lot is required. So I think the best is yet to come from you. So thank you for that. The other thing is, we talked briefly last time about the trip to Washington, D.C., and another demonstration of leadership from President Buchanan, myself, and Trustee Lewis. This is what we do as a board. We represent you at a national level. We spent our weekend and half of the next week on our dime to go to Washington, D.C. And our objective was to prevent sequestration. What did we do? Well, we was about 700 of us that represented over 50 million public school students from across this country. We converged on Washington. We had our strategy sessions, and we get together on Monday. Trustee Lewis, myself, and Mr. Buchanan, we met with, we had breakfast with Carl Levin, Senator Carl Levin, and Senator Debbie Stebbins. We made personal rounds to the congressman's office together, Gary Peters, and the new freshman Republican, I think it's Kerry, it's a nobody. We met with his office. Now, those are our two congressmen. And I gotta say that we didn't meet with the congressmen directly because they weren't there. We met with their staff. Very accommodating, but what we learned in a sidebar was that Speaker John Boehner had sent the congressman home. The only reason the senators were in Washington was because they had to confirm John Kerry for Secretary of State at that particular time. So we did meet with the senators. All the congressmen's offices were open and accommodating. But because of the effects of sequestration and what it will do to the district across the country, we knew it would have some effect because it's just going to be an automatic budget cut across the board. And we were advocating no public education cuts, period. You say public education needs to perform better, then they want it to perform better, they need to fund it properly. So if we don't have the funding now and you're cutting it, what's going to make the results any better? Although our model is a little different because we tend to produce a good product, and it seems to be we're doing it with less funding. So, President Buchanan and myself doubled back, and we met with the senior leadership in Washington. We met with Congressman Dingell's office. We met with John Conyers' office. And after I left President Buchanan, I doubled back and met with Congressman Senator Levin. All were receptive. All seemed to be supportive of public education. So I want that to be known. No public education cuts. We wanted safe schools, and we wanted them to reauthorize the Educational and Secondary Education Act. Now, that was before March 1st. We never thought we'd be in this situation, but we are. So for my students, sequestration is a term used in practice of using mandatory spending cuts to the federal budget if the cost of running the government exceeds either an arbitrary amount or the gross revenue it brings in for that particular year. Simply put, sequestration is employees or an employment of automatic budget cuts across the board. Some lawmakers who initially championed sequestration, and I think you know who those people are, as a method of reducing deficit, later expressed concern at programs that might face sequestration, and we're one of them. House Speaker John Boehner, for example, supported the terms of the Budget Control Act of 2011, but later backtracked in 2012. My facts are coming from the Washington Post. He said that the cuts represent a serious threat to national security and must be replaced. If sequestration is continued, this is how it will affect us on a national level. Just this year alone, $85.4 billion. Then every year thereafter through 2021, $109.3 billion per year. This year alone, $581 million to the CDC, $323 to the airport security, border security, which we are a border community, about $581 million. Head Start gets cut $406 million, kicking 70,000 children off the program. Special education. Special education got $850 million. The FBI gets cut $480 million. This is this year. Public housing gets cut $1.94 billion this year. The federal prison system gets cut $355 million. And if you lump all of the military budget items together, this year alone you're looking at over billion in 2013. This is according to the Office of Management and Budget from the United States. How does that affect Michigan? Well, this is what the Office of Management and Budget says Michigan would see. $22 million in decreased funding for primary and secondary education, putting 300 jobs at risk for among teachers and aides, and a decrease of 25,000 students served, as well as another $20.3 million in funding for children with disabilities. So that's what we do. That's what we do here. So I appreciate the time that Mr. Buchanan spent. I appreciate the efforts of Trustee Lewis. And we all came together with a common goal. We worked together with the Oakland County boards, Birmingham, Bloomfield. We were lockstep. We even dove back with the boards in Wayne County, Wayne Risa, Taylor. They've got a new congressman. We walked them through the congressman's law. That's what we did. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poole. Mr. Lewis.
I have no presentations for tonight.
Kat?
On the bright side of that, yesterday's news, this came through by email. The Office of the Legislative Counsel from the House of Representatives, that's national, has cleared the way for the National School Board Association's bill to support local school boards to be formally introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives. Representative Aaron Schrock, Illinois Republican, has agreed to introduce the bill, and other House members are expected to sign on as co-sponsors once the formal bill number has been assigned. National School Board Association lobbyists continue to meet with congressional offices in the House and the Senate. Local school board members are encouraged to follow up with their own congressional members to ensure broad support for the NSBA bill. That's for all of you guys. You are to call your representative, probably Gary Peters, and tell him you support this bill. Anyway, on Friday, March 8th, the State and Local Governance Coalition conducted a briefing for congressional offices on the urgency to reauthorize the ESEA. That's the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. During the first session of the 113th Congress, the briefing followed a formal letter sent to the chairman and ranking members of the House Committee of Education and the Workforce and the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions on February 4, 2013, to not only urge Congress to complete the long overdue ESEA reauthorization, but also to craft a bipartisan bill. Panelists included representatives from the National Governors Association, the National Conference of State Legislatures, the Council of Chief State School Officers, the Council of State Governments, the National Association of Counties, the National League of Cities, and the National School Boards Association. NSBA raised concerns over the lack of priority for education as a national priority given the 5-year delay in the reauthorization, the costly and ineffective use of funds to implement and mandated sanctions and reforms, the flawed accountability system, and the inaccurate and unfair labeling of our public schools that has eroded public confidence in our schools. NSBA also argued that the long-term investment in education was necessary to ensure a full economic recovery, a strong defense, and to sustain global competition. The briefing was well received. Other members of the coalition include the United States Conference of Mayors, that includes our mayor, the International City County Managers Association, and the National Association of State Boards of Education. There's one more point on this. Claims abound that education spending has tripled over the last 4 decades, but that achievement has been flat. Claims such as these have been heard across the spectrum, from John Stossel to the Center for American Progress. Patty Barth at NSBA Center for Public Education looked at their data, and it shows that, in fact, every student group posted gains over this time period. And that stands for Southfield as well. We have posted gains. And this is signed by Kathleen Branch and the NSBA advocacy team.
Thank you, Ms. Camp. Ms. Robinson? Trustee Smith? Trustee Williams?
I would be remiss if I didn't give one more congratulations as to all the women in this room and all the women in this listening audience. March, as you are aware, or if you're not, March is National Women's History Month. And the theme this month is Women Inspiring Innovation Through Imagination, which honors generations of women who, throughout American history, have used their intelligence, imagination, sense of wonder, and tenacity to make extraordinary contributions to the STEM fields. While the country has made great strides toward equality, we cannot rest until our mothers, sisters, and daughters assume their rightful place as full partners or participants in a secure, prosperous, and just society. While the leadership of the White House Council on Women and Girls, President Obama's administration is advancing gender equality by promoting workplace flexibility, striving to bring more women into math and science professions, and fighting for equal pay for equal work. He is combating violence against women by revising the antiquated definition of rape and harnessing the latest technology to prevent dating violence, domestic violence, and sexual assault. From securing women's health and safety to leveling the playing field and ensuring women have a full and fair access to opportunities in the 21st century. His administration is providing deep and lasting investments in the future of all Americans, especially women being women. During Women's History Month, we recall the pioneering legacy of our grandmothers, this is his statement, and our great-grandmothers. It is revealed not only in our museums and history books, but also in the fierce determination and limitless potential of our daughters and granddaughters. As we make headway on crucial issues of our time, let the courageous vision championed by women of past generations inspire us to defend the dreams and opportunities of those to come. Continue to be a beacon of light.
Thank you.
Thank you. My comments are probably not going to be as highbrow as my colleagues, and I appreciate everything that you guys stated tonight. Mine has more to do with our neighbor here in Southfield, and in particular, I'm just going to call you out, Fox 2. You need to do a better job. You need to do a better job of how you cover Southfield Public Schools. I want to commend Ms. Jackie Robinson, and she did a wonderful job of pushing them back on some reporting that they did. Now, I find it amazing that, you know, we have a disagreement between two 15-year-olds, you know, over at Southfield High, and somehow or another that's newsworthy to them. We have 800 kindergartners and first graders, you know, at Revolution Reed, and we're here promoting positive things in Southfield Public Schools, and they didn't show up. Now, I want to thank, again, Ms. Robinson, because she pushed back on that because the reporting of the story was inflammatory and wrong. They were dead wrong with the way they reported that story. And so we got the correction, but it was amazing how the initial story was one of those long stories with the highlights. You had a woman standing out there in front of Southfield High, and, you know, but the retraction, I missed it. It was a blip. It didn't take 30 seconds for them to come on and say, that wasn't quite right. I've always kind of lived by the, this is a computer term, garbage in, garbage out. Well, if they don't stop with their garbage, they're going to be nothing but garbage. And I'm sorry, personally, I have the lowest regard for that form of journalism. I know, boss, I know. But it's the truth. It's the truth. So, if you're gonna tell the story correctly. If you're gonna come and talk about Southfield Public Schools, talk about the good things that go on here. One little fight is not newsworthy, not in this town. All right. Future meetings, March 25th and 27th, we're going to have our town hall meeting on the meet, and that will be at 7 o'clock here in JWE. And I really implore the community to come out and attend these meetings. You'll be more than enlightened as to what really goes on here in Southfield when it comes to the meet. On March 26th, we have a study session, and April 9th is our next regular board meeting. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Not everybody wants. And this meeting of the Southfield Board of Education is now adjourned.